friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw News Brief. We're going to try to keep this one brief today, Larson, because there's really not that much news.
No.
But what is in it today?
First things first. So yesterday, right? We talked about Cain Velasquez getting cut
Si,
from
senor.
WB,
Yes.
his release. And Fightful Select had a bit of an update about that. However, within that update, there is this clause, this phrase that got my eyebrows raised. So let's discuss it.
Okay.
Quote, there are other names that have been cut that WWE didn't publicly announce. So now I think of the original batch of releases. Here we are like 2 weeks afterwards still discussing it. Rusev, Gallows, and Anderson, probably the three top names from the talent pool that got released.
Sure.
We just learned this week that Cain Velasquez was amongst them. Backstage, Gerald Briscoe. And there's a bunch of producers that either got released or furloughed. So the question is, are there really any other surprising or well-known names that may have gotten released that we just haven't heard about yet? And another thing we could discuss is, why wasn't Kane's release announced when all the other ones were?
I would think because he was not... this is my guess. So he had a contract that was to last till 2022. I would think that because he was more of an attraction guy as opposed to like a wrestler or somebody who's around a lot, I would think that maybe like he hadn't been seen from the viewer's perspective. There is no reason to think that he would be back because they didn't. It's not like he had any impending storylines or anything. It's like EC3. He hadn't been on TV in forever, but like he was technically an active wrestler. He would show up to the shows and they just wouldn't use him. Yeah. So I would think that maybe it was his attraction status that maybe precluded them from mentioning it. I would think they treat him different, even like from a talent relations standpoint. I would think that they treat him different than the other wrestlers. He was in a class of his own. It was a sort of an odd, attraction type thing. That's my guess. I would also speculate that the other releases were either writers who really... Okay, so like we know the woman who wrote Otis Mandy's storyline.
Yeah.
She was released. She publicly mentioned it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And because that storyline was so well liked, that tweet got traction. I imagine there were probably quite a few other behind-the-scenes people like that.
I would suspect, based on the context, that this little bit of news was used. I guess in my mind, I thought, talent, as an on-screen talent. There were other on-screen talents that got released that just didn't publicly announce.
I would speculate that if that's the case, we would know about it. They would tweet
you would
about
think so.
it.
Well, WWE never confirmed Kane's release.
Oh, I'm sorry, not WWE. I'm talking about like...
Oh, the individual? Yeah, I don't know.
Kane is in such a... He was in such a unique position. There isn't anybody else you can look at and be like, oh, well, they're sort of the same thing.
Yeah.
I would speculate if there were more releases, even if it's on the talent side, it would have been like deep NXT developmental stuff.
Yeah, probably.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
But I would definitely think that nobody on main roster... we haven't heard anything from, let's say, people we haven't seen for a while. Like Ember Moon is injured. We haven't heard anything from her. In fact, hasn't she been on Backstage or The Bump or something?
I don't know if she's been on since releases, but she has been on regularly, yeah. On Backstage, yeah. Yeah,
so I don't know. I would kind of, because here's the thing. They've also, and I know it's not the best way to find out or to, like Cassius Ohno was in the alumni section. And it's sort of how people started piecing it together, but then he was also like in the NXT UK section at the same time, I think. Yeah. And so if they had released somebody who had their own profile, which is what which is a good litmus test, and they've been released and haven't been moved to alumni section, that'd be really weird.
That would be weird.
So yeah, I would speculate. I would say that it's probably nobody that we would know about.
Yeah, probably.
That's my speculation. But it does. I mean, the article does seem to think you could derive that from that. Sure.
Yeah. Apparently, Dutch Mantel derived some huge news from something that he heard. Steve, you wanna take care of this one?
Yeah, sure, because this is so non-news. It doesn't make any sense. So yesterday, Dutch Mantel tweeted, huge news. I can't do a Dutch Mantel voice. Huge news. Any truth to this, period. Overheard directly out of WWE Stamford is that a deal is being negotiated to sell WWE and the network to ESPN and Fox by as early as mid-May. This is so not true because, number one, they are not the same entity.
No, ESPN, of course, is owned by Disney. Fox is still Fox, but they're competitors because Disney, not only they own ESPN, they also own ABC. Like we've heard of movie studios working together for distribution rights and movie deals. This is something way beyond that. This is acquisition of a major business. I would suspect that if Dutch caught wind of any inside information, it's not the sale of WB to anybody. It's probably the pay-per-view rights.
Probably, yes.
If there's a scintilla of truth to this, it's probably related to that, and that's a huge if.
Yeah, and I mean, in fact, Tom Collahu commented on Dutch's report, saying this, quote, WWE have been in negotiations to sell pay-per-view rights to outside broadcasters for months. They announced that in January. That's all. They're not selling the network or the company. He had also tweeted earlier that, to his understanding, Vince fully intends to leave the company to his kids when all is said and done. I suspect that's probably his plan A, but I suspect that if the price was right, and we're talking about way overvalued, that he'd probably consider listening. They've said that as well. They're
always open for business.
Exactly.
That's their line.
This is either Dutch joking or completely misreading it. Wouldn't that be crazy though if tomorrow, like, it was announced that Fox bought like SmackDown and half the roster, and ESPN bought Raw and half the roster, and there's gonna be like two actual competing WWEs? That ain't gonna happen though. That'd be weird and rad, and we'd do so much good business
ESPN
because of our
aspect of it would be so out of left field. I know that we heard that they were one of the potential suitors for pay-per-view rights, but like if it was, NBC Universal and Fox, NBC Universal's parent company, USA Network, that's where Raw and NXT are aired. So, you mentioned the scenario of Raw being bought by one broadcast partner, SmackDown the other, which isn't going to happen. But at least that's a division that makes sense. ESPN's coming in and out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
To split the company, that makes no sense at all. If Disney's going to buy something, that's going to be all of it.
Yeah. I don't.
And ESPN, when you buy it, it's not. They wouldn't be doing the buying. It'd be Disney.
Right. Exactly. So if he actually heard anything, it's probably just about the pay-per-view rights, which has been discussed openly by the WWE.
Yeah. They mentioned the last earnings call.
This is
possibility
huge.
That's still happening.
This
is the best story of the day. Yeah,
huge
absolutely.
news of the day. And I'm actually, hey, look, man, I'm actually excited by this. Cedric Alexander and Ricochet, they have a tag team name. I love this, man. This is cool
great.
as shit.
It's great.
It's go ahead and announce it, Larson.
It's Two Fly Crew.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Because you know why? This aligns perfectly with MVP. Sounds like something MVP would choose.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that MVP is going to dump those losers, Shane Thorne and Vink, and pick up Two Fly Crew.
Heck yeah,
this
man.
This is rad, man.
Bring in Luther Campbell to do their theme for him.
They chose a tag team name that sounds vaguely like Two Live Crew, the most notorious, infamous rap group of my childhood. I wasn't allowed to listen to their songs.
Same. Same here.
That is awesome. It's
a great name. It's a great name.
It's a great name. It really is. NXT.
They're a great tag team. I'm a huge fan of both those guys. Hopefully they got their name. They can get some wins. They can beat Thorne and Vink handily. MVP will try to recruit them. whether they align with him or not. That's the storyline. Hopefully, regardless of whether if they do or not, catapult them up to the title picture after the Street Profits Viking Raiders thing is all worked out.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of Viking Raiders, they came from NXT. NXT is on tonight. NXT preview.
What a segue.
Terrible segue.
What a segue. First, there's only 2 things here listed, at least so far. Charlotte Flair faces Mia Yim for the first time in more than 5 years. It should be a fun match. I like that they're going back in time to tell the story. Give it some what would otherwise maybe just kind of be a match for Charlotte along the way to her first title defense. They're trying to get put some importance, some meaning into this bout, and I appreciate that.
Oh, me too. I know it's great. Where was their match 5 years ago?
In NXT.
Okay.
They showed footage of it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I did not pay attention. Okay, cool. Keith Lee defends the NXT North American title against Damian Priest. You know, if they want to pop ratings, man, have some titles change hands. Give that title to Damian Priest and have Keith Lee. Have Damian Priest. You see Dominic Dijakovic again with the tweet this morning or last night or something like that.
What'd he say?
He said that Damian Priest hit Keith Lee with his sex toy.
Damian Priest.
Yeah, man, have Keith Lee, have him challenge Adam Cole for that damn NXT title. Have him drop the North American title.
That'd be awesome. Drake Maverick battles Tony Nese in interim NXT Cruiserweight title tournament action.
Drake's got to win this.
He's got to get that W. Yep.
He's got to win.
Yep.
AEW seems like a banger tonight, man.
It's pretty stacked, man.
How violent is this Lance Archer Dustin Rhodes match going to be?
There should be bloodshed.
There really should be. It should be unsettling. And really, because they're telegraphing the crap out of the story, but I don't care because it's going to be really good. They're talking up Cody as, he's got to win this. He's got to win this. He's got to win this. He's going to be the champion. No, man, Lance Archer's going to absolutely annihilate Cody Rhodes at Double or Nothing for this championship, and it's going to be awesome. And Cody's going to be like, oh my God, a bus just hit me. And it's got to be his redemption story. And then speaking of Cody, he's going to be taking on Darby Allin. That'll be a banger too.
That'll be good too. In tag team action, we got Best Friends taking on Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be cool.
Fun.
Do I want to fight Penelope Ford? Yes. Legally, I can't.
So good.
John Moxley has something to say.
He's going to speak. Maybe we'll learn who his challenger is going to be at Double or Nothing.
That'd be cool. That'd be nice. It's like
they kind of got his title reign off to a rough start when his first challenger is Jake Hager. Doesn't do Mox any favors.
Yeah, in theory, it was a good way to go. It was a good way to go, but it's just the match was way too long, and they couldn't do anything. Yeah, that feud had to be built off of Moxley and Hager continually chipping away at each other with violence, and instead, all they could do
was talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like through video packages, not really to each other.
But Mox needs to do something. He needs to do more than say something. He needs to do something.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, Mr. Brody Lee will be taking on Marco Stunt. That should be really violent. Marco should be thrown around the ring all over the place.
That'll be cool. I want to know what they're going to do with. I want to know what they're going to do with that story.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
I'm sure Mr. Brody Lee is going to try to recruit Mr. Marco Stunt into the Dark Order.
Probably. Yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tonight live on Twitch for our AEW review, so come by and check that out. It'll be on VOD right after that right here on YouTube, wherever podcasts can be found. And tomorrow we'll be doing our NXT review around noon Pacific. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.